Shalom and good day all, this is Tequila29 back again for another DC review, and in this DC review I'll be covering Kneel Before Zod and Superman 78, The Metal Curtain, issue 4. I'll now get things organised for the first issue that will be covered. So as we return with Casey working on the story, or is it Gacy, one of them, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? In some essence it does, to which I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the internal art as well as what's happening story-wise with the characters, as we have a look around the beginning, middle and of course the end. So as the story begins, we are on New Candor, and whilst we are on New Candor, we see Zod watching Ursa torture one of the people from New Candor. And yes, you can certainly see that she doesn't give a qualms about anybody. And as we move a little bit further, we see a little bit of a fight take place between Zod and Ursa, or Drew Zod and Ursa, until last but not least, she of course kneels before him. But if I were to say, I think he definitely enjoyed the way that that person was being tortured by Ursa, his wife, seeing that they are both villains. For the internal art, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the area of the story. First things first, do we get anything in relation time-wise? No, we don't. Next is the locations, which we have New Candor and also a command, I think it's the Starfire command ship of sorts. I think I've got that wrong. But yes, a command fleet. And last but not least, the key cast of characters were Drew Zod and Ursa. For the overall story rating in this, I give a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move into Superman 78, The Metal Curtain, issue 4. So as we begin to move into Superman 78, issue 4, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? Sure enough it does, to which we do get to see Lex Luthor play a part behind the scenes of some of the things that are occurring here. And I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move in the area of the internal art as we have a look around the beginning, middle and of course the end. And as the story begins, we happen to see Metallo bearing the Russian flag, or the Russian Communist flag, landing in the land of the USA. And of course we get to learn that this is taking place in the middle of a, I guess a soap opera of sorts. And we get to see how he treats many of the militants that go up against him. As we go a little bit further in relation to the story, we catch up with Superman, and we do see a Superman as Clark Kent in this story as well. It's really nice to see Jimmy Olsen here with Perry White and many others making the appearance. And last but not least, towards the end, to which some of the things that happen in between here is that we try to have Superman get an understanding as to why Metallo is trying to fight him and also fight America, and if there's a way to sort of like reason with this particular enemy. And we also get to see how Lex Luthor has been running things behind the scenes. So for the internal art, I give it a 7 out of 10. Next is the area of the story. I must admit, this story was quite fun, but let's move into the things that make up the story. Did this story have anything in relation to time? No, it didn't. Location, to which a lot of the things took place, were in Washington, D.C. Next, we have the cast of characters consisting of Metallo. We have Clark Kent Superman, Lois Lane, Lex Luthor. Of course, there were members of the Daily Planet, as well as their opposing news report agency. I'm not too sure who they are. It would have been nice to see who what they were mentioned as in this story, as I think it would actually help increase the story rating a little bit more. And I think the character might have been Lana Lang, who was working on the opposite with her videographer, or but for the overall story rating, I give this a 7.5 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.